Frag. Well, lucky me, I just found out one of my memory cards must have been wiped at some point. This first one. It said it was unformatted, and it's empty, and I know that for a fact that it had a whole bunch of files on it. Well, that's not a bad thing, because if I am going to be replaying a bunch of these games with you guys, then I'm going to just be filling them back up again. That's what this second card was for, but I guess now we can use the first card. So anyway, yes, we are on the PS2. Fancy. Look at that, you guys. This is like old school, right? It even has the right date and time, which is something I wasn't expecting because I usually leave it unplugged except when I'm playing it, which is usually Jack X. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's get to the game. I believe I have put in a very familiar classic game that everybody should know, because I'm pretty sure the PS2 was pretty much... You'll recognize it, I'm sure. Anyway, so I can't decide which game I want to play. So I put this one in, I'm like, alright, I just better start playing something. I can play a different game later. We can play a bunch of different games, all at once. They were so childish and happy back then. Alright. Oh, this is a little bit slow, isn't it? It's not that bad, though. Alright, here we go. Saving data. Data.
I have spent my life searching for the answers that my father and my father's fathers failed to find. Who were the precursors? Why did they create the vast monoliths that litter our planet? How did they harness eco, the life energy of the world?
I was trying to figure out how to put on subtitles, sorry.
What was their purpose? And why did they vanish? I have asked the plants, but they do not remember. The plants have asked the rocks, but the rocks do not recall. Even the rocks do not recall. Every bone in my body tells me that the answers rest on the shoulders of a young boy. Oblivious to his destiny, uninterested in the search for truth, and rejecting of my guidance. And why would he want to listen to old Samus the Sage anyway? I'm only the master of green eco, one of the wisest men on the planet. So it seems the answer begins not with careful research or sensible thinking. Nay, as with many of fate's mysteries, it begins with but a small act of disobedience.
Hey! Jack, old green stuff told us not to come here.
Isn't that a great beginning to a game series?
Continue your search for artifacts and eco. If the locals possess precursor items, you know what to do.
Deal harshly with anybody who strays from the village. We will attack it in due time.
Never quite understood what Gall and Maya were up to.
What are we doing here anyway, Jack? This place gives me the creeps. Huh? Oh, stupid precursor junk. Eek! What is that dark ooze? It sure don't look friendly. The sage yaps on about the precursors that built this place all the time. Where did they go? Why did they build this crud? Now, I like precursor orbs and power cells as much as the next guy. But if you ask me, they must have been real losers. Wow! How did you do that? I think we're in trouble! Man, that stung! I told you we shouldn't have come here, and you listened! What? Okay. I'm fine.
Oh, you can see me try not to laugh.
What in green tarnation do you two want?
I was...
Don't tell me! Instead of heeding my wisdom, the two of you went mucking around in the only place that I told you not to go! Misty Island!
That's right! And then...
And, Daxter, you finally took a much-needed bath, but in a bathtub filled with dark eco.
Look, old man! Are you gonna keep yapping, or are you gonna help me out of this mess?
I'm gonna keep yapping, because in my professional opinion, the change is an improvement. And besides, I couldn't help you if I wanted to.
What?
There's only one person who has studied Dark Eco long enough to have a chance at returning you to your previous form. Carl Acheron, the Sage. But he lives far to the north. Far, far to the north. Nobody has spoken to him in ages. I would teleport you there, but I can't do that either. None of the three sages that maintain the other teleporter gates have seen fit to turn their ends on for quite a while. The only other way north is by foot through the Fire Canyon, but its volcanic soil is hot enough to melt precursor metal. You can't just walk through it.
But you could fly over it, if you had a zoomer equipped with a heat shield. I just happen to be working on such a thing at this very moment. All I would need is 20 power cells to give it enough energy to withstand the canyon's heat. Isn't that right, Daddy?
Yes, Kira, that might work. But where are a boy and a half going to get 20 power cells?
From the villagers. Most of them have a power cell or two stashed away somewhere. And even if they aren't willing to just give them away, greasing their palms with a few precursor orbs should do the trick. And I bet there are even more of them out in the wilds just waiting for some brave adventurer to find.
Well, we've got the brave adventurer at least.
Brave adventurer? You two couldn't find your way out of the village without training. Before you do anything else, you better go through the warp gate and get some practice on Geyser Rock.
We won't find any more of that dark gooey eco stuff, will we? 'Cause I'd hate to fall in again and turn into you.
Get in there before I turn you both into ferns.
Fantastic, we get to adventure. But I need to turn down my sound, because it's a little bit loud on my end. Alright, so camera is inverted. Let's see if I can... Whoa! Yeah, game options. Not that one. Okay, that's not what it is. So I guess we just gotta stick with it. That's fine. It's old school. Alright, so for those of you who aren't familiar with this, this is Jak and Daxter. This is the first of a three-part plot line from Jak 1, Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy, to Jak 2,
This device is a
to
communicator.
Jak 3.
With it, my father and I can give you advice at any time during your quest.
And after that, there's also a Jak X Combat Racing that is not non-essential to the plot, but is still a good game. You guys have seen me play that. Not the plot part, but the multiplayer. And there's also games made by other developers while they were overseen by Naughty Dog, which is the developer, main developer.
These floating egg-shaped things are precursor orbs. Collect enough of them, and some of the villagers will give you a power cell in exchange.
Isn't this music fun? Anyway, there are other games that were created with Naughty Dog overseeing the production, such as the Daxter PSP game, which was made by something Dawn Studios or something.
This is a power cell, the most important precursor artifact you can find. You need to collect 20 of these so I can power the heat shield for your A-grab zoomer.
And then there's also... There we go. Also, a game for the PS2 that is not made by Naughty Dog called Jak and Daxter... The Lost Frontier. And I have not managed to finish that game. So after we do all of these, maybe I'll do that one.
Hey, you found one of my scout flies. I sent 7 of them to each area to look for power cells, but the lurkers must have captured them all.
And as you can see, this is a platformer game. So basically, you run around and you platform.
Sometimes you'll want to hit things with a greater force. To break one of these boxes, you should jump in the air and then dive down onto it, hands first.
Ooh, fancy. Missed. There we go. Last one. So as you can see, they have a couple of different dances that they do whenever you get a power cell. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Had a power cell. I'll bet if you collect all 7 in each area, you can find even more power cells.
And it's pretty much so that...
That's Blue Eco, which contains the energy of motion. Blue Eco allows you to run fast, break boxes, and even activate some precursor artifacts when you get near them.
Allows you to save the game, basically. So now we get our first eco. You ready? I forget you have to get touch stuff.
Notice how each Blue Eco cluster you pick up increases the time you can use its power.
Alright, so you see when you get 50 of those little green ecos, which is what that green stuff was, you get a new health or whatever, what have you. New life, I guess? So let's go back to that shore before we get through here. Give the blue eco some time to respawn. I think we want to go down here. Let's just drop down right here. There's some stuff over there. I'm gonna go this way. So that's Misty Island, and that's the place where you spend most of your game over there. This is a training island. It's all by itself. Ready? Come on, jump, Jack. I'm not jumping. Go, go, go. Let's just get all that blue eco right there. There we go. You can see you can double jump. Oh.
This is a precursor door. It can only be opened by approaching the door while channeling Blue Eco through your body.
No, we... Oh. I thought it was going to take it off of me, so I wasn't prepared when it came back. Oh well, we got some over here. Which is what you're supposed to do, by the way.
That's a blue eco vent. More concentrated than the floating clusters. This vent will give you a full charge of blue eco, letting you use it for the maximum time.
Come on, let's go. Whee!
Good work! The blue eco caused the door to open. With blue eco, you can breathe energy into all kinds of precursor artifacts that have lain dormant for years.
Oh, that would have been a good spot. Oh well.
Those little green balls of energy on the ground are a type of eco. Pick up 50 small green ecos, or one big green one to increase your health.
I like the noise. See, this is on PS2, right? And you get things like that where people don't even bother setting a different material.
Jump again in the air to reach even higher ledges.
Setting a different material that makes a sound is something interesting like that. And as you can see, it also is sort of a collection thing. For the most part, you can get by without needing to know every nook and cranny. Some of the things you have to go back for, though. I'm gonna jump off. There we go. Portal is active. We have to do that with all the different stages that we get to visit. Whoops. And you can see there's... when you get other options, you'll be able to go to them. Yes.
Good training, boys, but that's nothing compared to the challenges that lie ahead.
Then no problem. We got the moves, eh, Jack? We'd love to stay and chat, Big Green, but we're, itching to get on with our adventures.
Fine, fine. Adventure away, then. And while you're out adventuring, why don't you make yourself useful? My darn green eco-collectors are clogged up again. Head out to the far side of the beach and clear them out, why don't you? Follow the lamps. They'll take you right there. Now, all of you, get out of here!
The characters are very memorable in this game. If you did play Crash Bandicoot, you'll recognize this plant as one of the enemies that you have to fight. But in here, he's just a friendly little guy. In the houses, you can't move the cameras. You just have to move your character around and it will follow you. It's a little bit awkward at times, but otherwise fun. And apparently I can't move the camera right now either. You just have to do that thing. Alright, as long as I know I'm not, jumping to my doom or something. Because I have fallen off of here before and killed myself.
Hey, baby! What do you say you and I go cruising on this A-Grav Zoomer?
Rule number 1, I don't date animals.
You don't know what you're missing.
Listen, if you need something to keep you busy, my father always talked about an ancient precursor pipeline hidden deep underground. Some of these pipes end in vents from which eco flows freely, and some have been capped off so that the eco is sealed back. There must be a way to turn the capped vents on. I traced part of the pipeline back to the Forbidden Temple. Maybe you should look there for some type of switch.
And before we end this episode, something else I should bring up is that I can indeed read Precursor. So I will, at least I used to be able to. I can still recognize, I know at least some of the letters because we did that for Jack X. So I think as we go through this game, we're going to attempt to start translating some of these things And we'll have a little bit of fun that way. But this is the end of the first episode. And we'll start to get into the fun stuff soon. Usually after we leave this area, because this area is sort of boring. Once we get after, you know, Fire Canyon, we'll be alright. But till then, stick with me, please, and we will have an enjoyable time. I will translate stuff for you and do my best to entertain.